Release the clickers!
Good morning, everybody. Things are not too bad here at Goldshaw Farm. Just letting the ducks out. They're enjoying our seasonal ponds right now. Now, some of you might be wondering, where are the puddle ducks? Well, our two white Pekin ducks that we usually have with our flock, I've actually separated them out from the khaki Campbells right now. Samuel puddle duck, the male Drake that we have. Samuel has always been the lowest ranking male in our flock, but with Mundungus Fletcher and Yellowneck both injured, he's actually moved up to the top slot right now. And with that newfound power, he's become really aggressive, just like really aggressive. And he was beaten up on the khaki Campbells, and given that right now I'm very focused on trying to heal them up and make them healthy again, I can't have that sort of thing. So I have placed Samuel and Jemima in the chicken tractor right next to the house. And so they are like right next to us. Allison loves it because she can let them out each morning and have them help her garden and stuff. So they're separate from the flock for the time being. I will probably eventually commingle them all again, but just not right now. Still trying to trap the mink. You can see that one of the traps right there. No luck so far. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm working on that one. Someday I want to make Allison a mink stole. Mark my words. Oh! You guys aren't gonna believe this. Check this out. Aha! This is what success looks like. Oh yes, nice. These are the first 2 eggs that the khaki Campbells have laid since the days after the mink attack. You know, after the mink attacked the ducks, their egg production got all weird. The day or 2 afterwards, they were starting to lay them less frequently, and they were laying them in weird places. And you know, maybe about 2 days after that even, they started to lay these like tiny little rock looking things that were like these unformed eggs. And then they've stopped completely for about the last, I don't know, 8 or 9 days. I chalk that up to the fact that the stress of the predator attack, as well as their bodies' need to heal, really meant that they couldn't be laying eggs at that time. Which makes perfect sense, and I think it was actually a good thing, because I wanted them to contribute most of their energy to healing themselves up and getting better. But now, today, I've got my first 2 eggs again, which is a good sign that the ducks are on the mend and should get back up to laying production. Even though the stoppage in egg production made a ton of sense, and I'm glad that they did it, the decline of egg production actually came at a very bad time for me. From a farm business perspective. I had actually just lined up a couple of clients to buy eggs from, both on the restaurant side as well as the retail side. I was really in full production mode. I was getting ready to start hatching ducklings, and I was also getting ready to start selling fertilized eggs. And because of the predator attack, I basically had to cut all of those activities off and just basically put a pause on the egg business. So that's been really tough for me. Now, in the comments of one of my last videos, somebody asked the question specifically, how much money is this costing you? And well, let me do a little bit of math for you guys. Based on the way I've priced my eggs, both for the retail market and the restaurant market, I am averaging right now about 33 cents in profit for each egg that I sell. On top of that, each duck costs me roughly 30 cents per day to feed and own. So based on that math, and let's say that I'm averaging about 13 eggs a day on a normal production day, that means about $4.33 a day in lost profit. And that also means about $4 a day in unsupported revenue. And so if I multiply that by about 10 days, I am looking at about a total of $83 the mink attack cost me from egg income and egg expenses. But then I'll throw on top of it the fact that I lost 3 female layers in the attacks. And based on what I could get for the ducks in terms of selling them for meat, as well as the expected income that could come from each of them producing eggs on a regular basis, I'm gonna say, roughly speaking, that was about a loss of about $25 per bird, so that's 75. So 75 plus 83 equals about $158, which kind of stinks. And that doesn't even take into account the cost of additional supplies to reinforce the duck house, medical supplies to take care of the ducks, my wasted time and energy. Take note of this one, folks, because a predator attack really can cost you a lot of money financially if you're trying to start a farm. This little girl right here is one of our more banged up ducks. She's still not doing great. You can still see that her neck is a problem. And I actually think she's blind in one eye, which has been making herding her a little more challenging. So all of this, I guess, leads to the much bigger question of, is duck farming profitable? And right now, it most definitely is not. Obviously, with these losses, it really hurts my bottom line. I mean, you know, all told, I'm very glad that I didn't try to go into this large scale. There was a point when I was thinking about trying to get, you know, a couple hundred ducklings last year and do a laying flock of a couple hundred ducks. And it's got me realizing right now that that would have been such an awful financial mistake, both in terms of me just not knowing what I was doing, dealing with all these predator pressures, just learning how to raise the ducks themselves, figuring out the optimal system for the ducks. You know, all of those things have been lessons that I've learned, and they're going to be things that I carry forward in the future of our farm. And I'm glad I did it at this tiny scale, where I started with 40 ducklings, ended up harvesting a bunch for meat, ended up with the ones that I've got for eggs, and I'm learning on how to make all of this work. I've got more improvements to make. I mean, one plan that I have that I think you guys will be interested in here is, I realize that my current duck house is insufficient from a security standpoint and just long-term feasibility, and plus it's just kind of butt ugly. What I'm actually intending to do is I'm gonna be focusing on building a new duck house. This is somewhat of a change of plan for me. I had originally planned to plant a Three Sisters garden in the duck yard over there, where I've been housing the ducks all winter, letting them poop and do their thing. I think I'm probably gonna not do that, because I'm gonna need both the space and the time to do this build of a new duck house. And I'm gonna build a duck house that I'm in the process of designing that will be both secure as well as efficient for keeping the ducks, given all the things I've learned over the last, I don't know, 10 months or so. So I will be working on that one. Oh look, a wild duck. Ever since we had this seasonal pond spring up, I've noticed Canadian geese out back here, as well as this pair of wild ducks. You can see the drake right there in the foreground. They've been hanging out back here as well. I should probably be concerned about, I don't know, avian flus or, you know, infections, but I'm hoping things are going to be okay. I know there are some biosecurity risks in all this, but there isn't going to be much I can do about it. These birds are flying to our pasture because it's a good bird habitat, and I guess I should feel good about that. This duck right here, she is not doing well. She's just looking worse and worse every single day. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to cull her. You can see it.